Just ease into it.
What brought you all here to DragonCon?
The fans.
Say the offer.
No, I love coming to like conventions like this because I feel like you guys are diehard. You're the reasons why we still have a job.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Thank you. It's nice to have lights in my house. It's just nice to come here and feel the love and support. And it's always been fun. Like I always have fun here. I have fun at Comic-Con, but like I'm really interested to see you guys are all about.
And what you really think, because you always tell us.
Yes.
Things we don't even know about ourselves we get from you guys. Or our characters, or impressions that we're giving off that we have no idea that we are. I agree with both of these ladies. I feel like it's so exciting and overwhelming to realize that people like the show and watch the show, care about what we're doing. So, thanks. It's cool.
And we will be taking questions from the audience. We've got two people with microphones, Erica and Sheila, so if y'all just want to kind of line up in the middle of the aisles, we'll take questions in just a little while. It's been a pretty big season this year. What do you think of what's been going on this season?
Scrubs and more scrubs.
Elaborate, please.
Vamp camp. It's all about vamp camp this season.
Unless you were in Vamp Camp.
Unless you were in vamp camp. I just feel like this season's been about survival, right?
Yes, that's what I said all year, is that this is the season of survival. And the thing that excited me was talking to our new leader, Bucky, Brian Buckner, about sort of returning the show to its roots, which is ultimately about a small town and a small group of people that are all very different and need to learn to coexist together. And that's very exciting to me, because I know as a fan, because I am the lucky, fortunate fan that infiltrated the show. Coming on season 3, and so I certainly know that that's what excited me about the show as a watcher. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
How does that work when you're a fan of the show? How do you actually get to be on the show? You call somebody up and go, I'd love to be on this show, or just wait for an audition to open up?
Yeah, it's you pretty much wait. Everyone's like, so what made you take this part? I'm coming off as such a whore, because I'm really like, oh, well, I got the audition, I got the job. That's what made me took it. But it was, I just got the audition, and I went and met the fantabulous Mr. Alan Ball, and he gets to just anoint you. It's his decision, or was, when he was running it. So, yeah, it's total dream come true.
How is that different from the way shows normally work when you've got a strong showrunner like Alan Ball who can just pick you like that?
Well, the beauty about it's Alan and then also HBO is that it's really like the Tours network. So, if you're on a network show, that's probably about, what would you say, 5 different auditions to get the job, because you have to go to the casting director, and then you have to wait for producers, and then studio, and it's a long, long process. But at least for me, for usually a job this size, it would have been at least 4 auditions, but it was just one, and Alan said her, and then the studio said, okay. Well, thank you. Go on.
And Tara, your character has been one of the few humans to go to vampire jail. What's that been like?
Oh, it's fantastic. No, I didn't have to wear the prison uniform. I got to wear a little robe, and it was the most covered I think Ginger's ever been. I ate every day, and no juice cleanse. Exactly, I did the juice cleanse. It's incredible. I love when my character, because I just reoccur on the show, I never really know what's going to happen until literally I get a script and I read it and I sort of flip through first to see if I've died. And then after I've done my cliff notes and I realize that I am still alive, then I go back and see what I'm actually doing. So when I found out that Ginger had a home, I was really excited. I said, like I got drove away to hang out with the vampires for the rest of the season. Also, we could have asked me to do anything. I was like, yes, sign it up, I'll be there.
What do you think of the relationship between Ginger and Eric?
I think it's really hot.
He did promise you this year you were going to have sex one day, didn't he?
Promise. And I'm gonna hold him to it. I'd like you ladies to as well, and fans, please. I can give you one solid. Forever.
And Julia, you have been on the L Word, you've been on Gage, you've been on Arrow, and now on True Blood you have died shortly after turning into Steve Newland.
Yes.
Welcome to DragonCon.
Thank you!
I've been driving around. I'm in town working. So yesterday I was driving around and I was starting to see costumes and I was like, it's happening. And I can't wait to take a lot of twin pics with all of you. Okay. What are we talking about?
Well, first of all, what brought you to DragonCon?
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike. Hi. What brought me to you guys brought me to DragonCon? The DragonCon brought me to DragonCon. Yay!
What do you think of it so far?
Well, he just arrived. Besides being a voyeur from the outside yesterday, you know. Seems great. I've watched videos in the past few years, so I'm like, I'm ready.
You actually covered Comic-Con for AOTS.
I did! It's pretty fun.
A tactical
And I've
show?
heard- Yeah, I've heard this is like the non-mainstream version, and there are more costumes.
And that alone is kind of a selling point.
Exactly!
That's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, because there's so much originality, and you know, the thing I love about cosplay culture is that there's a lot of pride taken in making your own costumes. I can't do that shit.
I do have a glue gun.
Yeah, I think I'd be very successful with it.
So, Janina, what do you think of what's happened this season? I know your character was killed off in the very first episode, so that kind of sucks.
I thought it was a very complicated season. I was like, I have so many favorite moments. One of which is the hug between Arlene, when Arlene's basically like, at the second to last episode, which was 9, favorite episode of maybe like many seasons. 9 was, you know.
The juxtaposition of the funeral.
Yes.
And the action was pretty cool.
And that's what I love the most about the show, is the juxtaposition between like this loving town that's just trying to be okay, and then the heinous shit that happens when you throw vampires into the mix. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. Although the humans weren't so loverly either, some of them this year.
No, they were the big bad this year, were the humans.
Regina, you've been there since the very beginning, the very first episode. What do you think of Tara's evolution over the years?
Oh man, I think I can say for me it's been the best evolution ever. Like how do you know, you're on a show, you're a human, and all of a sudden you're a vampire. Like that rarely happens, that to actually keep creating your character and sort of change and evolve and transform. It was really cool for me because I felt like, not that Tara was stuck, but I felt like it was nice to have her sort of just shift her energy a bit. It's still Tara. Right.
What is it called? I remember I was like, you're a vampire. You're like, yeah. You called her a possum or something.
She was a wild, angry possum.
Perched on the sink.
Like, you know, together, I sort of like, it's been fun, it's a challenge for me, and when Alan told me, I remember I was very scared. He pulled me aside on set, and he said, hey, we're really excited, and we hope you will be too. And I was like, awesome. He's like, yeah, Tara's gonna be turned. And I was like, huh? Does that mean I'm dying? Because you only get one more death when you're a vampire. No, you're not dying. And I was like, okay, but I was really nervous because then we had to take a break. You know, hiatus, and then it changed, and all of a sudden I come back and like not have a job. So I was very, very, very nervous. But it's been fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
We will be taking questions, so Sheila, have you got a line for me? Cool. All right, we'll do that in just a moment. What do you think of Sam going ahead and moving on this quickly?
What do I think, or what do I think Luna would think? Well, I think Luna really just I think she really loved Sam. Truly, fully, completely. And I think all she wants is for him to be happy. Period. Now me. I think you know what I think.
Tell me about that scene where you were turning into Steve Newland. That was just an amazing scene.
That was a crazy day. We were in that room. So much went down in that room that day on set. Because not only did I shift, so we had that whole, like, okay, what are you going to do physically? And what, I have to mimic your actions, but now I have hair and the flipping and the blood. But Sam also exploded a vampire head. And all of the elements that were involved with making that happen. And then he was covered in blood for a long period, completely naked, well, you know, socks. And completely bloody. So it was a long day. Poor guy. But what do I remember? I mean,
He was so nervous about that.
He gets the worst of it, I think, Sam.
Not Sam, sorry, McMills.
he was.
Nervous about that, and someone had suggested that he actually talked to Sam, because obviously he's done it a lot, but also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but at the read-throughs, he often, whoever can't show up, he'll read their part. He's an insane mimic. Like
crazy town.
He reads Eric, I will never forget, this is a true story. I didn't look up, and the table's huge, and the read-throughs are crazy, and so I didn't look up. It wasn't until halfway through the read-through that I realized it wasn't Alexander. I'm not joking. So someone had said, talk to Sam, he'll walk you through, and so I think he was very nervous about.
Oh my God, and then I did the same thing that I did with Sam, which was we went into a room and I had him videotape me doing the scenes if I were to do them. And then I just went, hands off, whatever you want to do. I'm never going to take offense, you know. If you want to swish like Sam did, it's all right. And then I think it turned out okay.
Oh yeah.
Good morning. My question is for Tina. Since Tara has kind of, since the beginning, been kind of an angry character, do you ever get criticized for having to have an attitude for most of the show?
Yeah, all the time. And actually, people think that's how I am in real life. People come up to me and they meet me and they're like, I thought you were going to be mean. I'm like, look bad. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not her. I think Tara's incredibly defensive and also incredibly insecure. She's a wounded, animal, wounded little girl who had one of the roughest childhood. There's no father in the picture. So there's a reason why she is the way she is. I think she's starting to see the world a little bit differently and accept things more and sort of kind of take a step back. But I always feel like Tara, when she talks, she's like the voice of reason. Like she tells you what she thinks and she tells you how it is. And she's usually pretty straight up about stuff. And I like that about her. I like that she's sort of feisty and on edge, but I also love her sort of lets her mask down and to see her heart and who she is, and the essence of her.
Tell me about that scene in the final episode of this season where Tara is drinking from her mother. That is just so creepy.
That was scary.
That was beautiful.
Wow,
It's hard to talk about that scene because I love Adina Porter. She's amazing. And she makes me like I have to be at 100% top of my game. She thinks she brings out the best in me as an actor. It was so nice to be back with my mother and have that sort of connection. I don't know where it's going to go because it's like, is she telling the truth? Is she telling the truth? Is she, I know some people have been speculating that she might be infected, and so there's all this stuff. And I'm like, well, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah! You know, I'm like, shit. But I will tell you this, when we did the read-through, when we went to rehearse that scene, we were a mess. Because we hadn't seen each other in a while, and it was just, we were a mess. And I remember the director was like, we should have just taken that rehearsal. I was like, yeah, because I don't know if I can recreate what I just did. Because I'm a mess. It was a great night, and just nice to be back with something that's familiar to me, you know, because I've missed working with her.
Yeah.
So.
And Jim Parrott, good morning. Welcome back to DragonCon. So, Floyd's not dead. He could come back.
Yeah.
Would you like him to come back?
Yeah, I mean, it would just have to be a matter of, I don't know, everybody being nice when they get back. I don't think I can do it again. If I don't know.
If people weren't nice to Hoyt.
Yeah, I mean, to Alaska for a reason.
Yeah.
You're from the South, you don't go to Alaska. A really, really good reason to go to Alaska, so if there was a really good reason to come back, I'd like to come back.
But see, hasn't he technically forgotten that they were mean?
Well, I forgot about two people being.
Exactly.
It's a pretty good case for it.
What do you think of how all that turned out? Floyd asking Jessica to wipe his mind and going to Alaska.
Yeah, I thought it was really good writing. I thought what I liked best about it was that it was an opportunity to, at the beginning of the series, we made a deliberate effort to make Hoyt like a child, or somebody who was stunted socially at least, and in their understanding of things. And by the end of it, I'd become enough of a man that I could make a decision for myself. Nobody jumped out of a tree and killed me or kidnapped me or something, and it was for actors, that's the cool thing, is to take the trip from one place to another. And so when I read it, I wasn't upset about not being on the show or anything. I just thought, this is so good, this is such good writing, because it made that whole trip, so. And then the trip to Alaska.
And since the show, you've been working with James Franco and me?
I guess you could call it work.
An adaptation of a William Faulkner.
Yeah, we did it As I Lay Dying. There was another book. We did that in Jackson, Mississippi last September, and it's incredible. James is an interesting guy in a lot of ways, but that material is so difficult. If you've ever read the book, there's 59, I think, different perspectives that the story gets told